Welcome everybody, it's tractorchute here for another great game of StarCraft 2 late night. It is time for the game. With the man we've been following, it is going to be Nexius. So in the upper left hand corner, it is his opponent. Playing as the red Zerg, it will be WhiteDragon. In the lower right hand corner, the man you've come to know and love, it is Nexius playing as the blue Protoss. I have been promised this is a really darn good game. All of his games are good, but this one's supposed to be really darn good. And he's got me late night casting, so I'm expecting the best out of him here. He's going to start himself off with the standard pylon in his favorite position on the lower level of this map here. Going to put it down in the expansion. Meanwhile, his opponent here does appear like he is going to go with a good old hatch first by the pace he is working up here. I would have to imagine that will be the build, as we do not have a spawning pool on its way as of yet. Take a look at the good old APM tab. They are flying away here. Both these guys around 200. Very, very decent. I will give them that much here. He's sending the overlords out across the map here. This is obviously a cross-spawning map, so there really is no searching for your opponent. You know where he's going to be. And it looks like the man of WhiteDragon is flying there. Look at him. He's coming across there at the speed of light with those overlords here. Meanwhile, Nexius looks like he's going to run that drone around or that probe around there, and he is really going at those keys there. Look at him, up to 227 average. Looking pretty decent. And now he's going to move that probe across the map and finally get that scouting off there. Get a good timing. See what his opponent's doing here. His opponent has run himself with a 13 pool. And I'd imagine the hatch is going to follow that up fairly quick. We'll soon find out. WhiteDragon, what do you have in store for us today? Does look like Nexius will make his way into the natural of his opponent here. He's going to look around, sees that there is no hatch down there. It is not no hatch first. I have lied to you. And we are going to go hatch after the spawning pool. Here he goes with his good old drone. It's either going to scout or build the hatch. Nexius seizes in time. He scouts that beautifully. He's going to plant a pylon. It is not his. It is actually a scouting one. Or he's looking to put it in his third. And that's exactly what he's doing. He realized what was going to happen there. So why not put it just a little bit further out? Definitely doesn't hurt by no means here. So very smart move by WhiteDragon. Decent play out of you so far. And we do have the forge first. So we'll be a forge fast expand coming out of Nexius here. As he does go over there. And he's going to plant down that Nexus pretty darn quick. Meanwhile, he's getting his scouting information. She's the good old extractor trick to get him an extra drone out there. And if nobody's going to attack him, why not sit there and get as much intel as you can? In the meantime, there it does look like he will plant down a photon cannon to make sure he's got a little bit of defense in case anything comes his way nice and early. And there we go. Hatchery is finally going down. He did actually go back up, I do believe, to check out to see whether or not Nexius was still there. Realized the pylon was there. So decided he would plant that down. Nexius does see the dogs. He's going to go with the dogs. He's trying to blend in there. Doesn't look like he's doing a very good job. Definitely no chameleon-like aspects out of that probe there. Probe is actually a little bit fast. Look how fast that guy is. He might actually be able to outrun these dogs. He's going to try his best anyways. But of course, Photon Cannon does end up getting down. And the good old Overlord does see that. These dogs will retreat. Yes, they do. Right back to their base. They do get their probe kill. So they're pretty darn happy. Oh, they did not get a probe kill. Look at that. Probe gets off scot-free. That must be one darn lucky probe. He thanks his lucky life there. I don't know what he thanks his lucky life for, but he's pretty darn happy to be alive, I'll tell you that much. Do have a gateway going down as well. This little probe got a little bit curious. He went down and up, and he's decided to come right back up there, get right back to work, trying to sneak off. Nexius being the commander of the probes, he will get him right back to work here with the double gas going down, and he will start chrono boosting out. The third hatch goes down, so we have 3 hatcheries. Of course, Nexius did see that as he took out the pylon, had to expect that's going to go down, so he's probably got a pretty good idea where he is at in this game here. Are getting some pretty good larva injects here. These dogs are going to go around here, get themselves a little bit of map vision anyways, kind of see what's going on here. Does plant the Overlord above the third, very good placement there, and they're going to get right up there, see the full wall off is off with that probe, playing with the worst position you can be in, which is guarding that little hole. Of course, with that cat in the background, those dogs probably won't be able to do any damage, but they're going to relax on the low ground here. If we take a look, we do see a Zealot is coming out, as well as the Cybernetics core, so looking pretty good so far. Do have a couple queens and 6 dogs on the map. Nexius, in the meantime, he is probing up here. He's going to head around, work his way towards the third, or might be looking to go do a little bit more scouting by the looks of it here. So he's actually going to go out, get a little bit more scouting information here. Do have this one fairly saturated with 9 workers sitting on it, looking pretty good there. And still nothing, no roach warren, no gas, nothing like that there. So definitely not going anything that's going to require too much gas early in this game here. Maybe looking to rely on those dogs. He does go over here. Does see that's planted down. He's got the intel he needs. Got a good idea that there's going to be a natural planted down as well here. And when he gets up there, he will see the queen. And he gets right up there. Very good movement of that probe. Staying out of range of everything here. And we'll get back in the main. See if there's anything funny up there. Kind of get an idea whether or not he is going with any gas so far. Does run into the queen. And as you expected, the queen does knock down that probe. Very well done there. And now we are starting to get some gas on our expansion as well. Going very good with the gas here. Getting the starport first. Fairly natural there to get a early starport. I guess it's not first, but it is nice and early there. Warp gate technology coming on its way as well. Those dogs end up getting back. A little bit of a drone transfer at the same time. Looking not too bad over here as he does get the gas started up now. So he's finally getting into some sort of gas build here. Double gas going there with the single gas down at the expansion and nothing on the third as of yet. He's going to move those dogs up to the Naga Tower, take a little bit of control, probably leave one dog up there and run around the other ones, or leave all four up there just to relax by that Naga Tower, keep a little bit of control here. And does look like we have one Phoenix on the map, nice early Phoenix, which will give him a lot of insight on the map to do some flying around, get some Overlord kills. That's exactly what he's going to do, flying and shooting at the same time. What a good attribute those things have here. We'll actually get a couple of kills here. We'll supply block his opponent fairly good too, as well as he's back down to 62 food and supply cap. And we'll lose 8 more any second now as we have 2 Phoenixes on the map. So Nexius doing pretty decent early here. I'd have to say he's a little bit ahead of the game with a couple Overlord kills, looking pretty good there. And there's the supply cap as expected. But in the meantime there, I would have to imagine we are going to start seeing some Overlords popping out. None as of yet, but there we go. 5 are coming on the way here. So he'll fix that problem. Robo Facility and 3 more gateways are going to come down for Nexius. Looking not too shabby, my good man. Take a look over here. He does have his spore crawlers down as he doesn't know the Phoenixes are out. So we'll get a little bit of defense around his mineral lines here. There's the dogs. They give up in the Naga Tower. They're going to start working their way out. We'll cross the map here, see what they can see. 3 Phoenixes are going to start moving as well here. These dogs are going to go around, kind of get an idea whether or not the third is out as of yet, as he has no more vision from his Overlord. And we'll see what the Phoenixes intend on doing, as I don't think those dogs are going to have too much action down there. They're going to get it right in here, and they will see a spore crawler right in the middle line, but might be able to pick up the queen. No, he has one on the outside as well. Very good placement of his spore crawlers. Does prevent any sort of killing from those Phoenixes. So Mr. WhiteDragon, you are looking pretty good so far here. Both these guys looking fairly decent. There's the dogs. They're splitting themselves off here. Getting themselves a little bit more map vision here. We'll work his way down into the third of his opponent here. Realize that the third has not gone down as of yet. And we are killing the rocks though, so it does look like Nexius plans on planting the third at some point in time. He's just going to wait until the right time to get that baby planted out there. It does look like one Zealot has made his way down the map here. He's going to do a little bit of scouting. Turn around, start beating that dog. We'll get one dog kill, so very well done there. And these Phoenixes still scouting around. He's got 5 of them now. Very heavy on the Phoenixes. I do like to see that. Phoenixes are nice early in the game, so they can keep very good map control for you. That is for darn sure. If you take a look, it does look like we probably have a roach swarm planted down here. Oh, it is a Hydralisk den. So we're going to go right into Hydras to at least help deal with these Phoenixes nice and early here. So not too bad of a maneuver by his opponent. Very good idea. There's the Spore Car again on the outside as well. Very good placement of his Spore Cars. I will say that much. They are definitely preventing any sort of Phoenix harass. That is for darn sure. And he has the dogs planted in the third and fourth of his opponent, so making sure he knows when those go down. Next, he's planting down the proxy pylons. Gets himself a couple there. Very good placement of those. And he will continue to fly those Phoenixes around, see what he can do with it, see if he can get any sort of hole on his opponent that he is missing defense on. And does plant him right up here, so he will be able to see that there are hard to list down there. Very good placement. And we are finally starting to get a little bit of creep spread out of his opponent here. It does look like we have an observer as well, so that's definitely going to help with some map vision. That is a lot of Hydralisks we have on the field. 15 Hydras altogether here. And the Phoenix, or the observer, sorry, absolutely sees them crawl underneath them. I don't know what they do. They kind of whittle waddle kind of like a penguin, except slither. Slither, that's the word I'm looking for. They slither their way across the map here. They're going to start moving out here, see what kind of damage they can do. 15 of those should be able to help them out quite a bit, and we are going to knock that rock wall down. At the same time, we are getting some cannons in behind it here, and are starting to pipe ourselves with a nice little third base for Nexius. Not looking too bad so far here. These Hydralisks are going to continue across the map here. They are working with 0 upgrades so far, but I have to imagine upgrades will come very, very soon with the good old Evo Chambers. Yes, they are on their way with Metabolic Boost. And, of course, the speed movement as well going on here. And it does look like he does get up there, but does realize that's a fairly good wall off. Doesn't really want to contend with that. We also have a couple mortals on the field that will definitely help defend against these Hydralisks here. There's some dogs trying to get across the other end here, but of course with those cannons there, they will easily thwart those dogs off. Dogs cannot get in there. He will combine them with the Hydras, head back to his base, determine what he wants to do from this point. But he still has the one dog over here, which will guard a fourth. He plants down his fourth at the same time here. Phoenixes do see that going down, so he's got a really good idea of exactly what his opponent is sitting on 4 bases. And it does look like those Phoenixes will encounter a few Hydralisks, and they're probably not going to like what they see here. These Hydralisks all right underneath them, too. Good placement of them here. They might be able to get a couple kills here. It's going to be a lot of shots going off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wowzer, very good job by those Hydralisks. They're catching Nexius, not paying attention. So do get a kill out of 4 of them here. Leaves the one Phoenix out on the map here. We'll leave some dogs in the middle, not looking too shabby there. Nexius in the meantime here, he's electing to go with a Twilight Council and a couple more gateways, getting that gateway strong with the double forge, going for the upgrades. Very well done there. And we'll sit back and relax while these guys both macro their way up, determine what they want to do. Creep spread's looking pretty good as he has got his portion of the map covered off anyways. Does look like we are going to get into some good old Colossi. Very good counter onto those Hydralisks. Very good choice there. And it does look like we're going with a massive amount of Spine Crawlers. That is a shit ton of Spine Crawlers you decided to go with here. Very interesting. Definitely putting down the defense nice and early in this game. If we take a look way up at his main here, it does look like he is also getting a macro hat. So really going macro heavy in this game. Has himself sitting pretty good at 130 food, about 130 to 125. So both these guys very good food count at the 14-minute mark. And we'll continue to mine ourselves away. So we sit back and relax. I am hoping to get one more game out tonight. I do have another new submitter in the realm here, so he will be queued up to possibly go up tonight, depending on how much energy I got left of me after this here. Or we might just look at getting that up tomorrow. It is my weekend, so I can definitely get quite a few games out in the next 2 days. And of course, we do have the Friday challenge. Remember that you can only go air units. Must sacrifice 3 of your workers right off the bat of the game. They can't build, repair, or mine with the first 3 workers that you get there. So make sure they go. They can't be the first 3 you build. They have to be the first 3 that you start with. And it does look like we have a little bit of damage happening over here. Not entirely sure what he did bring over there. I would have to imagine it was a little bit of a Phoenix pickup, but didn't really go overly well for him as it did end up going down. In the meantime there, I can tell you that I have been not doing a whole heck of a lot. I will tell you that much here. Nothing overly interesting happening. Hockey pool is coming up, like I do say. That is on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So that should be a pretty decent pool. It is a live draft online. So remember, if you want in that, let me know on Facebook if you're a big hockey fan. If not, so be it. We'll just do it on our own. So we're going to move out here with a portion of his army. Not entirely sure where his Immortals went. Does he have the Immortals? No, Immortals are in there somewhere. Okay, Immortals are in there. They're hiding right underneath the Colossi. They kind of blend in. You never even know they were there. So it does look like he kind of wants to get over here, but at the same time we do have a few dogs over here, and of course he has all those Spine Crawlers, but he has gotten into a Swarm Host type build, and he will plant them in behind there. Wow, he is really turtling up as a Zerg player, but at the same time Nexius looking to go right into the third area. Here he goes. Of course, opponent will be able to see that as he does have the creep spread out there, and he will work his way through there. This will force his opponent to put out the good old Locust to head them that way, and he does see what's going on. He has enough Colossi to deal with those quite handily. They might end up getting 1 or 2 Stalker kills in the end, but nothing overly overburdened for our good man of Nexius here. And we do have the Corruptors on the map as well, so very good job there. That will definitely help out here. And they do chase Nexius right back to his base, and he has expanded right over by Nexius, but with the nice little warp placement of the pylons there, they should force the cancel, and that's exactly what happens there. Very well done by Nexius. Decently done there. And does look like we will come back to a standstill here. Nexius looks like he might want to start trying the push here. He kind of wants to get an idea of what his opponent has here. And this is where he's going to run into all these Spine Crawlers. Colossi are the counter to Spine Crawlers with that sick range they can put out on those. So I would have to imagine those Colossi are going to get in the front and at least try and do a little bit of damage to try and stay out of range. But at the same time, he's planting those Swarm Holes right back down there. So he's going to start seeing some more Locusts head his way here. And he is going to work his way up there. Hydralisks are going to work. And they're going to do a decent job. And of course, the Corruptor's trying to get in there. Oh, this could be a very big trouble. Very bad placement here. I don't know if this is going to go over well for Nexius. Oh, he does use the mass recall. Save that army there. And that might be his savings grace here. He really didn't need to lose that army. This army at the other end for a good man WhiteDragon is pretty overwhelming compared to what Nexius has. I will say that much. He has a very good compilation, especially with the Corruptors and the Hydras and the Swarm Hosts. That's a very good build. And he's going to start pushing ahead. Also has a few dogs to take that frontline damage. Is pretty much capped his food out. Sitting at 196, 285. So he's going to be the one to put the pressure on here. Some dogs are going to try and get in there. Might get in there before the cannons get up. Very decently done there. Might be able to force the counts here, but he does get in some Zealots here. That should definitely clean up the rest of these dogs. Very well done. But he's going to push the entire army over here. And I don't think that he can deal with that there. But at the same time, he is pushing his way across here. He's running right through those Spine Crawlers here. He's going to go right for the base. But at the same time, he might end up losing this base. Could at least have time to cancel that Nexus if he chooses to do so. I will have to imagine that's what's going to happen. But in the meantime, he is doing quite a bit of damage down here. Takes out the Queen. We'll go to work on some of those drones here. Forces all the drones off the line here. But might lose his Nexus if he doesn't get the cancel on it fairly soon here. And they are going to start to work this baby down. I have to imagine that he's paying attention to it. Might want to put the cancel down pretty soon here. Or he's paying attention to Zealots. Actually kills it off there. That kind of sucks for Nexius. But at the same time, he might actually get a hatchery kill out of this. Are going to send in the Locusts here. Locusts might be able to clean it up in time. It's going to be very, very close. They will actually get rid of those Zealots just in time. So very, very lucky here. And now he's going to start planting some more right in the middle of the map, and he's going to start sending some locusts right in the Nexius' base. And this could be a little bit of trouble. He has a few locusts that are just standing around, so didn't really have him queued up to head towards the base. A little bit odd there. But either way there, he is now getting ready to push in here, and we have the Void Rays on the field. Void Rays are going to get that good old prismatic alignment. They're really going to clean up these corruptors. Void Rays really melt corruptors quickly, as you can see here. Not even close to enough hide to list there. Yeah, I will give that battle to Nexius. He takes the food count lead big time here, but we have replenished ourselves at the other end, so very well done with a good larva count. So we are pretty much back to a standstill. Both these armies are maxed right out here. But it does look like Nexius has snuck back in there with some more zealots. He's killing some dogs. Getting a lot of dogs killed. Does get a few more dogs in there. Might not have enough to clean them up though. These zealots are really going to work here. But has a lot of corruptors coming out here. So is really looking to get that corruptor count going for him. He's going to continue to go to work on those drones here. Not retreating. Finally retreats those drones. But at the same time, Nexius gets a hatchery kill there. So very well done. So has got his opponent back down on the 3 base here, and he is going to start pushing his way forward. See what kind of damage he can do. He's going to look for a good entry point here. There's just spine crawlers everywhere, but like I say, those Colossi should be able to outrange those if all goes well for him here. But like I say, when you are sitting at even armies here, it's really going to depend who's got the better micro and who's got the better compilation at this point. Nexius in the meantime going really heavy. Look at that. Walls are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for Nexius. And here we go. Get some overseers out of position here. And now he's got to get those void rays out there with the prismatic alignment. They're going to try and melt away at this army here. But a lot of locusts on the field. And those locusts might make the difference. They're forcing a lot of firepower to go down to the ground army here. He is trying to melt the corruptors. But that corruptor count is very, very high. I think he might have enough. It is going to be very, very close. He's pushing the Colossi in there. Needs a little bit of vision as he can't see the swarm hole sitting in the front line. They're going to get one more hatch off here. And they absolutely do so, and this should pretty much force Nexius to get out of here, I would have to imagine, but maybe not. He's actually going to stand there and put the force field down. Very good force fields. Now we'll allow the Colossi to get a few more shots off, and he's going to try and look for an entryway in here. They're back to pretty much even food with 165 to 158. The opponent just taking a little bit of a jump there as he gets a few more units heading on the field here. And he has got a little bit of a lead on Nexius at this point as far as food count goes. Mothership Core is down there if need be for the good old time warp. Nexius, look at the expansion here. Opponent really needs to start getting some more expansion help. Finally getting his 4th back down. That will definitely help him try and get back in the game here. He's sitting with a very high mineral count and not doing too bad on the gas. Nexius spending his money in gas as quickly as it can get in here to try and replenish this army, as he has a very gas and mineral heavy army going. So he's going to move his way around the map here, trying to determine where he wants to go. Opponent is getting the 5th down as well, and also has a few dogs over here, so they could elect to get a 6th at the same time. Here's our 5th, slowly building its way up here. Here's Nexius got this base sitting nice and pretty, and he will start to get the good old miners over there, and we'll start to get a couple of simulators down, I would have to imagine. Meanwhile, the opponent here, he's going to start trying to figure out exactly which point he wants to get the engagement going here, as he's going to head himself down along the lower left-hand portion of the map here. So he will slowly get there. He does have quite a few corruptors, so 14 corruptors, 13 swarm hosts, and the 30 dogs on the field here. It does look like he will take out the proxy pylons of Nexius, and Nexius is going to move that army, start to move that army back across the map here. Let's see, is back up to a capped out army, so he will move them up here and there. Probably sitting pretty with upgrades, sitting with the 2-3 for upgrades, so very, very good on the upgrade count. Dogs, not too much on the melee, doesn't have any melee upgrades, but does have his car pace maxed right out there at 3. And there's the army. They do know that the dogs are up here. Might get a few free dog kills if you choose to do so. But at the same time, we do have the locust swarming their way around the map here. Those dogs end up getting on there with that lightning fast dog speed. They will end up retreating, and we'll take that Naga Tower for a little bit. Has an observer in his army now, so he can start to deal with these swarm hosts a little bit better. And does look like we are actually going to send the locusts up towards Nexius, and he's got pretty good placement of everything here. I will have to say that. He's got all the corruptors over there to try and defend with his swarm hosts. And does force Nexius off that Naga Tower here, and he's going to retreat a little bit back, but at the same time he is being attacked by a ton of dogs over here. They're getting ready, they're going to get a ton of probe kills as he's got the cannons out there. Oh, they're actually leaving it alone, surprisingly enough here. Cannons might have been enough to fend him off, so it does look like he will have to retreat out of that base here. But look at that, there's a very big dog count. They try and get a few more in there, but these cannons are easily fending this base off. Very good on the cannon count. At the same time, we're getting down a lot of spine crawlers as well on his expansion there, so looking pretty good. And we're going to head our way down across the map here. And Nexius has the high ground here, so he could like to maybe get a couple little shots off here. Void Rays are going to move in by themselves here. They're going to go to work on that one little lone hatchery here, and they're just going to target it down as they realize it probably taking 2 seconds. And very well done there. Does get another hatchery kill. Very good move just to move him in there. Ignores the spore crawlers, and does look like he does have some more of these good old locusts. Locusts can be very annoying. as they really are expendable units, and they can replenish. Has the Vipers on the field now, which will definitely help him out to pull in those Colossi. So that's probably a pretty good build by him to get at least 3 or 4 of them in his army. And Nexius is forced to kind of retreat out here. Has a very good Void Ray count, though, sitting at 13 Void Rays with 5 Colossi, 3 Immortals, and 9 Stalkers with the 1 Sentry in there. So they do melt their way up there. Got a few more of those good old Swarm hosts to deal with. Or good old Locusts, I mean. So we'll push our way up here, see what kind of damage we can do as we sit on the Naga Tower. Not entirely sure how he wants to engage this. Really does want to make the wrong engagement. Because first one to make that wrong engagement, that's going to be the one that gets punished big time here. And it does look like he actually wants to expand. He has taken up a lot of expansions. Being a Protoss player, that's a lot of expansions. But of course he's got free reign here, and Nexius has his army on the other end of the map here. So these Locusts are easily going to clean this up. You can see they do have the extended lifeline there. So they are lasting a little bit longer than what they normally would. Do take out all the cannons here. It should easily clean up this base with 1 or 2 more hatches. But at the same time, Nexius is pushing forward. He's looking to try and get into his opponent's base, see what kind of damage he can do. Goes right through those Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers just like nothing. Wowzer. They will definitely clean this up here, but at the same time, he is losing the base over here. Opponent's kind of got some infestors now too. Wow, very big compilation he's got going over there. So he's going to try and clean his way across the right-hand side of the map. Next, he's kind of moving his way across the middle of the map here. But he actually did do a good old mass recall one more time. Tries to get over there. I don't know if this one's going to work out for him here. There's a lot of Corruptors, but he should try and melt them all here. He's trying to get a shot off on these Swarm hosts here. And it does look like these Void Rays might actually be his savings graces. They really clean that army up. Very, very well done. Also gets a nice warp in of a bunch of Zealots at the same time. So very good use of these mass recalls, I will say that. I'm pretty sure he did a mass recall as he's got the Mothership Core over there as well. Pretty sure he didn't teleport over there magically without the mass recall. And we're going to push ourselves in here. Might actually get a few Spine Crawler kills before they actually get planted down. And he's going to continue to go to work on here. Might have a lot of pressure on his opponent here. He is keeping the food count up. He is a little bit ahead of his opponent as far as army size goes here. And he brings in some reinforcements to try and clean this up here. But is forced to get out of there as I don't believe he has an observer in position here. No, observer is way over here, so not in position to take out those Swarm hosts. So he will be forced to retreat this army. Tried his best, but couldn't quite break through yet. His opponent keeping a very good count on his army here. Able to replenish it quite easily. But Nexius has a bit of a lead here by about 33 at this point. So looking pretty good. Both these guys have very decent upgrades here. Even with the air upgrades, I do imagine they're pretty high as well here. If I can find one of these Void Rays, I would have it made. There it is, 1-1. So he does have 1 for the armor and 1 for the air weapon. And it does look like these dogs are moving around. They're not really doing anything, but they're running past all the Nexus. They will actually clean up one of the Nexus quite easily here. Some Zealots are going to try and get in there, see what kind of damage they can do. Might be able to do it, not entirely sure. He's continuing to focus it down here. Is he going to have enough? It's going to be very, very close, actually. Really doesn't matter. Nexus, he does have enough Nexuses out there. Nexius and Nexuses, there you go. And he does clean that one up quite easily here. He's trying to get a second one up here, but this one might go down as well. So maybe the opponent's starting to take down a lot of these expansions of Nexiuses. So looking pretty good here, but won't be able to take this one out as we have reinforcing Zealots and cannon power up there. So they do a pretty decent job here. And they're going to continue to spit out the Locusts, try and clean up this base as well. So both these guys own, I would say Nexius is about 2/3 of the map. So the opponent has about 1/3 of the map at this point. And we are fairly gaped in the army count, though. 197 to 159. So Nexius is keeping that army count well above his opponent and doing a pretty decent job here so far. Has managed to out macro his opponent here. If we take a look at the income tab here, is actually surprisingly ahead for the opponent. That could be due to the lack of probes for Nexus. I will have to say that much here. As well, if we take a look, he's got 76. He's got more. I'm kind of surprised that his opponent actually has an income lead on him here. That's actually very impressive. So he will continue to force these Locusts up here, which is forcing Nexius to stay back a little bit. And not entirely sure how he wants to engage that, as that is a lot of Corruptors on the field. Well, I guess we'll have to sit back and find out here. Is he going to continue to spit these Locusts up here? And they're just going to clean up this base quite easily here. But, of course, Nexius might have enough of an army to defend this base off here. Like I say, it doesn't really matter if he loses this one. He's got a nice fully one going over here as well. Got a ton of going on there. 31 overburden on that one. And now he's got the carriers. So we have gone right into a carrier build. Probably a pretty smart idea for him to help deal with these Corruptors. They have a lot of hit points. And he's actually going to move the, a little bit of a misclick there. Ends up losing 2 of his Swarm hosts by clicking them up there. So very, very good job by Nexius to clean that up here. And now he realizes that there are carriers on the map here. So it's going to be really hard for him to start fending this off here. If we take a look at the good old units tab, you can see he does have 5 carriers on the map there, and carriers are absolutely devastating in late game, but he is going to move across with his ton of hydras and his ton of dogs here, see what kind of cleanup they can do. They're going to head down this base here, but at the same time, some more locusts are going to try and come in here, see what kind of damage they can do. That's just way too many units for Nexius. They'll easily clean that up without any sort of loot loss of units there. So now they're ready to push out here as they realize the opponent has half his army on the other side of the map. Probably a good move to start moving in here now. Here we go. Now does he have enough of these corruptors? I don't know if it is going to be enough, as there is just a massive amount of carriers and void rays here. They should easily be able to clean up those corruptors, and he is actually doing a fairly decent job as he's ready to push. He does have the opportunity of fungal growth. I don't think I've seen any fungal growth go down there, so this could be actually a lot of trouble for his opponent here, as Nexius is pushing really hard at this point and has a very big carrier type army here. Not too sure if the White Dragon's going to be able to handle this one here. This is a very big battle here. Do have a lot of locusts trying to clean up the ground army here, but at the same time, the carriers have outlasted the good old corruptors here. They're trying to clean up the rest of them. They're doing a pretty decent job. He's not even controlling them to focus down the carriers here, so that might hurt him a little bit. Does force him out, but at the same time, he is being attacked at this base over here. Has a few hydralisks in the background here, and does a mass recall to clean up this army. Loving the mass recall in this game here. That's definitely helping him out. So they'll end up getting over here and clean up the rest of these hydralisks here, and that will be devastating to his food count here. It does put him back to even. So looking pretty good. Both these guys still staying pretty even, and we'll actually end up losing this Nexus, as there's not much you can do to fend this off. So it does look like a good man of White Dragon cleans that base up quite easily here, and he will be forced to try and start moving himself out here. And those Vipers are trying to gain some energy by taking out one of their good old spine crawlers. He's got enough spine crawlers to last him forever. Nexius, in the meantime, is going to start pushing himself towards this base here. This base is basically mined out, so it might be a little bit of waste of time here for him to do this. Might be wasting a little bit of his army to these spine crawlers, but at the same time, he's doing so much damage that he's really not taking a lot of damage, but they end up losing a few Z-bots in there. So they're trying to push ahead here, but in the meantime, the army is coming in the background. They do end up platting down those good old swarm hosts there, and the Vipers are over here as well, so they can start pulling some carriers and some Colossi in if they choose to do so. So he pretty much lost this base, but at the same time, like I say, this base wasn't really mining anything. There's another mass recall, so he will get them right back to this base over here to get them a little bit more well fended off so he can rebuild that army. So we get right back up to 173 to 152. Also getting some Archons into his army here. So definitely going with some very heavy duty units with the carriers and the Archons now. But at the same time, the opponent has stuck to what he likes here. He's staying with pretty much every unit you can build, except for the Ultralisks, which we don't have any of them on the field as of yet, I don't think. No, we do not. So he's going to stick with the Corruptor Swarmhost Hydralisks. What else does he have in there? I think that's about it. No, wow. Yeah, it does have... Yeah, that's about it. He's got three infestors, but they're not really going to do a whole lot unless they get some pretty decent fungal growth off. And he will head them right up in this base here, but Nexius sitting right in position will easily clean them up without them doing too much damage. And does clean that up quite easily. Now he's might be looking to push ahead here, as he is 187 to 171 and has a fairly decent Archon count sitting at 5, carrier count sitting at 3. And also has himself 13 Zealots and 8 Colossi on the field here. So very, very heavy on the Colossi count. And those Locusts will continue to push themselves through here. Try and get a few more cannon kills here. Try and push their way through the front door. Don't know if he's going to have enough, but at the same time, he does have a few dogs running around the map here. And does look like he is ready to push his army to the other side of the map here. So he's going to start to get them all bunched up in the right-hand side of the map and see where he wants to go from there. Next, he gets himself rebuilt with another expansion. Gets himself out some more pylons. And he will continue to fend off all these locusts that continue to come in here, get a few more Zealots in there. And he is ready to push this army ahead, it looks like, as he is starting to move out the base. Meanwhile, opponent is sitting on the very right-hand side of the map here. Nexius is on the left, so he's got a long ways to go if he wants to come fend this off. Nexius is going to start going right up towards the main now, as he is heading right up towards the main ramp of his opponent. We'll get into the natural first. Sees there's quite a few spore crawlers here, so we'll work to clean them up very, very quickly here. The opponent's trying to get in the back here. I don't know if opponent want to go for a base race. He's sending a lot of dogs out here. Nexius is going to go right for the kill here. He's going to go to work. Does see that he does have the good old Spire in this base, so we'll work to clean that Spire up here. In the meantime, there he will be attacked from behind. Plants down those Swarm Hosts. So Swarm Hosts is going to try to go to work here. Nexius cleans up the evil chambers, gets rid of the upgrades, but I do believe his opponent has all the upgrades he needs now. Yes, he does have 3-3. So we'll see, does he have enough to fend this off here? Does have an observer in this army, which will be very, very handy to get rid of these Swarm Hosts. And the infestors are all not doing too much. No fungal growth going down. A little bit surprising here. So he's got the chance now to clean up all these Swarm Hosts. He's sitting right above them, but he's actually going to go right for the main. Wants to go for the main buildings. No, he is actually going to turn around here. Sees the Corruptors out there. We'll go to work on the Swarm Hosts on the ground here. We'll clean them up quite easily. The majority of them anyway so far here. Archons are doing a very good job. Nexius says, get out. Oh, look at that, getting a little cocky near the end of the game here, and he is pushing himself ahead here. Looks like he's got his opponent. Very well done. Good army compilation. Good micro. My congrats go to you, Nexius. My condolences to you, WhiteDragon. I will leave you this. If it ain't the green man, it ain't the blue man. I've heard of them before because they bang on drums of water, but I've never changed my socks on a Sunday. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.